You're on your feet.
Yes, I am, Steve. House Democrats returned to Capitol Hill today, called back from vacation to vote on another $26 billion stimulus bill. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi calls the bill emergency aid needed to pay teachers and fund cash-strapped states. But can our country really afford another free spending bill? Here with America's Pulse, our radio talk show host extraordinaires, that's plural, Howie Carr over in Boston, Bradley Dean over in Milwaukee, and Neal Asbury in Miami. Welcome, guys. First things first, Howie, to you. What's the reaction of the people of Massachusetts, your listeners in particular, about this another spending bill bailout for the states?
Well, again, Brian, it's another bailout for the public sector. The private sector is withering away. The real unemployment rate is 16%, and the only aid is going out to prevent teachers from being laid off. And everybody's asking, well, that's great for this year, but what's going to happen next year? The tax revenues probably aren't going to be any better, and why isn't there any help for the private sector?
And why is it only teachers, cops, and firefighters who seem to be in the balance? Aren't there other people that could be cut, other programs that could be dealt with? Neal Asbury, I posed that question to you. What are the people in Miami talking to you about? Neal, I'm not that good at reading lips. We'll get you a mic up in a second. Bradley Dean, the same to you as co-host of the Sons of Liberty show in Minneapolis. Your reaction?
Well, my reaction would be that I would just quote what Thomas Jefferson rightly said when he said, I predict a future happiness for Americans if they can prevent the government from wasting the labors of the people under the pretense of taking care of them.
Yeah, and on top of that great quote, I'll go back to you, Neal, for that, because in Miami, where you're based, unemployment's extremely high. People are struggling. Free checks might be good in the short term. Is that the reaction you're getting?
Oh, absolutely not. I mean, we have become addicted to morphine economics, and this is just the latest binge. There are those around us who will look for any sign of improvement and say that this is because of these massive deficits and this spending that we're doing. But do not be fooled. This is because of this drug, this deficits, these debts. And I got to tell you, my listeners, if there's anything that's going to get them pumped up for this next midterm election, right, it is this massive spending and debt.
And of course, people always look at Florida. Howie, tell me this, is this still a New York story? That's where it started. It seems bigger than that. And that's about building the mosque, a block and a half in this Muslim cultural center, so to speak, with a pool. And I imagine some other place to worship. That's going to be built. It looks like it's going to be green-lighted. Our mayor here in New York says you should be ashamed for protesting against it. What about what's happening with your listeners?
No, I think the people in Boston, we lost a lot of people on 9/11 as well, and I think they feel the same way as most people in New York. They're very disturbed at Mayor Bloomberg for calling people who are against this bigots. They agree with former Mayor Giuliani. Right. This is a slap in the face. You heard the woman on Bill O'Reilly's show last night, the Muslim moderate. I mean, this is there's no need for this. There's mosques all over the 5 boroughs of New York City. This is just a slap in the face. This is something that shouldn't be done.
Neal, with your action in Miami?
Absolutely. I'd like to remind everyone that we're still fighting this war. And this mosque, this Islamic center, will be seen as a victory for our enemies. In the month of July, it was the deadliest month in Afghanistan. On June 7th, this became our longest war. We're still fighting this war, and our enemies will take comfort in this. This will be a victory for them.
Bradley, do you see it that way?
I absolutely do, through and through, as to what they just got done saying. I see the absolute arrogance and the absolute disrespect for the American people here, and it's always the American people who have to sit down and basically accept everybody for who they are when they come into America. And it's time for the American people to stand up and say to the foreigners that are coming to our country, it's time for you to see it our way. And when we say no as Americans, we mean just that. You're not doing it here.
Howie Carr, Neal Asbury, Bradley Dean, thanks for bringing us the voice of the people of Massachusetts, Miami, and Minneapolis. Thanks so much.
Thank you,
Brian.
Thank you.
All right, have a great morning.